his memorabilia.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It's unbelievable.
He has two? That's crazy. Oh my god.
I mean,
I haven't seen him come up in a long time.
unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what came in the kit, and the actual box that it came in is behind.
So I'm here in an undisclosed location, but one of the most unbelievable collections I've ever seen in my life. Here with Phil, who is I don't even know. This is legendary. Is that the correct term? This is a collection that is it's a museum. This is a museum, and I'm overwhelmed. So we're going to talk to Phil about how did you start collecting? What got you into Aurora models?
Well, I started collecting when not collecting. I mean, I was building models early on in, I think, about 1958, when I was like 6 or 7 years old. And I was building mainly cars. And then in 1961, I walked into a luncheonette that sold everything from cigarettes, candies, newspaper. You could get a hamburger or whatever, or malted. And in the back they had some models. And I bought a couple of models there, but when I walked back there in 1961, I saw Frankenstein. And I loved all the monster movies and horror and dinosaur stuff. And I saw it, I bought it, and at the time I would spend the summers at my nanny's house in Long Island, Elmont, Long Island. And so I brought it there and I painted it. And I was in such a hurry to put it together that the paint really didn't dry that good. So as I'm putting it together, my fingerprints are being imprinted into the paint. But I put it together, and that started me off. And then Aurora came out with all the other monsters, Dracula, Wolfman, what have you. And I built all the models up until '65, when they came out with The Bride of Frankenstein. I was a little unhappy that it was a smaller scale. Now, I didn't buy it. My friend Chris Palermo, who used to build models too, but he would never paint them. And so I happened to go to his house, and he had The Bride of Frankenstein. I was like, this is a lot smaller. So I kind of got, I don't know what the word is for it, but I wasn't happy. And so I kind of stopped building models. And I had all my monster models up until, I think 71, when we had moved from Richmond Hill, Queens to East Meadow, Long Island. And it was the last day of moving. There was no room on the truck. And boy, I made a bad decision. I took those models and I just threw them in the garbage can. Oh. And I thought to myself, if I ever want, I'll just buy them and build them again, not knowing that Aurora went out of business in 1977. Then in 1987, I had 3 kids, and ages 7, 5, and 3, and we used to sit and watch the monster movies together. And then I thought, it might be a nice, and they loved to watch them with me. And I thought it'd be a nice idea to build the models with them. So I went to the hobby shops and I said, I'm looking for those Aurora monster models. And the guy looked at me like I had 3 heads, didn't know what I was talking about. because, you know, Aurora had gone out of business. And so I was kind of disappointed that nobody had, and I went to quite a few hobby shops. Then at that time, renting videos was a big thing. And I happened to mention this to one of the guys who worked behind the counter. And he said, "Oh, there's a guy in California that sells these models. I'll get the phone number for you." So it took him a while. Every time I go in there, I'd say, you got the phone number? You got the phone number?" I forgot. And finally, I got the phone number. I called a guy up in California. His name was John Green. And I said, "I want to buy some models from you." I said, "How much are they?" He said, "Well, what do you want?" I said, "Well, what does a Frankenstein the box go for?" And then he says, "Oh, it's $175. I was like, "Holy crap, boy, that's... I guess I'm not going to be building models," I said to him. He says, "Well, let me send you a pamphlet." He says, "There's some that are cheaper, you know, they're already built or painted." So I got the little pamphlet or catalog, whatever the hell you want to call it, and I looked in there, and I saw built-up Frankenstein, built-up Wolfman, and so I kind of familiarized my stuff with what was going on. And if you bought $500 worth of models, he'd give you a 10% discount. So I'm always looking for a discount. So I made sure I bought $500 worth. And the first shipment, the kids were so excited. And that's what started me. And I just went crazy. And
A little bit.
yeah, if you want to say a little bit. And then I was like, well, how is this guy getting all these models? So I put ads in the Penny Saver. I put ads in actually a car magazine from the Midwest with a picture of Dracula. And I started getting a lot of calls. And wind up was UPS was dropping off boxes almost every day to me. And then I found out about Toy Shop, and I was buying a lot of stuff from Toy Shop. And then eBay came along, and also I was going to Chiller too. Early on, I was going to Chiller when they had it in the Fairleigh Dickinson College. I don't remember what year that was. So I was buying stuff on eBay, and the stuff was more available and a lot cheaper. I mean, like if you wanted the Aurora Fantastic Voyage, the spaceship, if you would look in the toy shop, you might see maybe one a year. And they were going for like $1,200. But meanwhile, on eBay, they were a lot cheaper. But I didn't buy one from eBay because I had already bought one for like $1,200. So, but everything was becoming more available and at a better price. And I just went crazy. My kids really weren't interested anymore. And I look at it this way, you know, people spend money on cigarettes and whatever. My addiction was plastic models.
What were some of your favorite monster movies that you used to watch? You mentioned was it the B-movie stuff, like Teenage Werewolf and She Creature and that kind of stuff? Or was it more Universal?
Yeah, you know what, just about anything with monsters. The Crawling Eye, the monster from Pegasus Blancus, 20 Million Miles to Earth, huh?
Invasion of the Saucer Man?
Yeah, that too.
Was there anything that you weren't able to find? Because I mean, I had no idea that Aurora did this many too. I knew they did a lot, but I didn't know they did all this. Is there anything still to this day that you have not found that Aurora did?
The only thing that's missing in my collection is the Canadian frightening lightning Wolfman. And if nobody knows what that is, it's a wider box, and it has either green or pink stripes down the front. So I'm missing the Wolfman, and I believe that's the only one that I'm missing. And
so if you have one, you need to contact Phil and hook him up, because he needs it here in the museum.
And the other thing I'm missing, and I just missed out on it too. Somebody else who I know got it, because the guy didn't communicate with me who was selling it, is the monster scenes. I'm missing that box, just the box, really.
Were you a Batman kid? Did you? I know you were out of models by '65, but were you a Batman?
Oh, I mean, I used to love to watch Batman on TV, but I'm really a fan of everything, superheroes and monsters.
So '60s pop culture memorabilia.
Yeah, '60s mainly and '70s.
'60s and '70s. Now, is this an original advertisement?
Yes.
Here? Where did that come from?
Actually, I bought it either the toy shop or eBay.
Was it just like a countertop thing, or was it?
No, that was an advertisement. If you sent a certain amount of box tops from Burry's Cookies and 50 cents, you could get a model of the Batmobile.
Was it this one, or was it a special edition one? Or?
No, it came in a... Yeah, actually, here's the box that it would come in.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same kit. They just put it in a shipping
Yeah.
box. Wow. And your collection it's Aurora, but it also goes into some other areas too, like different model makers and stuff.
Yeah,
so
well, this was going to be my Aurora room. And then as I ran out of room, I had to start bringing some of the other stuff in here.
So I noticed that you have multiples of a lot of kits.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why? Is it because there's a variant to the box, or is it because you just want to have as many as possible?
The reason I have multiple boxes, mainly because, and recently because unfortunately my good friend Andy Anxious had passed away, and I was lucky enough to go to his house and buy over 300 kits from his sister before they went to auction.
Are there variations to some of the boxes?
Mainly the monsters and the superheroes. If you look, these are two different Superboys. Okay, this one opens from the top. This one opens like your usual model kit.
Oh, okay.
It opens like this. And the box is a little different because the sides have a built-up, whereas this one doesn't. See if you look at the sides.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the same as Canada. This is from America, and this is the Canadian issue. Same with these two.
So Canada had their own boxes altogether then.
Yeah. And then I have some like what is it? Different variations of Tonto, the Lone Ranger, Spider-Man. Those are also Canadian and American boxes.
So how did you figure out how many different model kits were made in Canada to be able to collect them all? Was there
because I was like a vulture watching everything that was going on. And if I saw that and I was like, wow, that box, how come that box looks different? Because even the writing, this is red, that's yellow, and I'm like, sure, that's a different box. Wow, I got to get that. Same with Batman.
Now on some of the stuff that's over here, this Monsters coach, is that a display or did this?
That's a store display.
Wow. Was that for a toy, or was that for the model?
Toy.
The
Toy.
And that's the store display for it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Then the ice cream spoons with the...
Yeah, yeah.
That's fantastic.
I got most of those from Andy's auction in Rhode Island. I did have the red and yellow spoons, but I didn't have the stirrers, which I didn't even know they existed until, when you would go to the auction, when they were auctioning off Andy's collection, there were boxes with all kinds of stuff in there. And, you'd look through and try and see everything that was in there. But I was surprised when I saw these. I didn't see these until I got home.
Oh, so those just happened to be in the box. It wasn't...
Yeah, it just
Wow.
and plus he did have some of the other spoons and red and yellow, and those I sold off.
And that's the header card for the...
Yeah,
Right?
that I bought on eBay from someone.
Did you ever have any of this stuff when you were a kid?
Nope.
The monster? No, just the models was it.
Yeah, you know what? Not that I'm want to get the old violin out, but grew up without a father, and father was never around, and we weren't. My mother didn't really have a job, and so we were fairly poor. But I did have a nanny in Long Island that treated me very well. But we still didn't have a lot of things that a lot of other kids had. But now that I worked and had a business that did very well, so now I'm getting what I didn't have when I was a kid.
That's great. That's great. What about like when you were growing up watching the monster movies? Did you watch Chiller Theater and?
Oh yeah, love to watch.
Zach
something.
really was your guy.
Zachary, I watched Zachary in the 50s. He used to have a TV show, I think on Channel 9. Yeah, I used to watch that all the time.
That's awesome. Now let's talk about some of the monster pieces in here, because this is this is breathtaking. These two monster plaques right here. This is some of the rarest monster stuff there is, and it's just. How did you acquire these?
This one I bought from a person who, and again, it's the same guy who made the video of the Aurora. Cortland. Oh, that's it. Cortland Hall. I couldn't remember his name. I bought that from Cortland Hall. I saw it in his video, and he was here a couple of days shooting my stuff, which he was going to put into a video, but he never got around to it. So I asked him if he wanted to sell it. I gave him a price, how much I'd pay for it, and he said, "Good, I need to buy a snow thrower."
Wow.
So that's how I got that one. This one I don't remember where I probably got it on eBay, and then that's just a copy of the creature.
I don't know how somebody was able to do that, make the copy, because they're 3-dimensional.
Yeah, well, I saw it, and that's until I get the real one that stays.
Was there anything like, I know you've got the horoscope and the wallets and stuff. Did you see these things when you were a kid?
No.
You never saw any of this stuff in the stores or anything? Or
No.
No. I'm blown away by this case with the wallets, and we'll show you close up everything, but just wow. These plaques are so impressive in person too. Like, I've seen pictures, but I haven't seen them in person. So it's like,
yeah. Well, actually, you asked what else I need for my collection. Now that I'm looking at it, I need the rest of them. I need.
You want to get them all?
Oh yeah. I'm a. What do they call that when you gotta have them all?
Completist.
Completist.
Yeah,
I couldn't
I
think of
kind
it.
of got that feeling a little bit.
I'm a completist person.
All right, so let's talk about some of the monster kits. These are great. These all the cars and stuff. And I know
Yeah.
I don't want to bypass that one down there because that's the unbelievable stuff down there. The King Kong and Godzilla.
Yeah.
Those are nearly impossible to find. Those
Yes.
ones. And how did you acquire those two? I mean, those are very few people I know.
Yeah, I know,
who've seen
I know,
those,
and
so.
I actually sold a mint in box Godzilla to someone last year,
Wow.
and now that I saw how much he wound up selling it for, I don't think I did so great. That's the one that went for $36,000 at Hake's auction. So I sold him the Godzilla that I had and the King Kong's Thronester. But these are two that I've had for a while.
Now, why are these two so much more rare than these?
They only made them 1 year, from what I understand.
It was just something maybe kids they didn't sell a lot, or because I mean,
I really don't know. But these I got later on. I wound up buying the built-ups. This is an original built-up, and that's an original built-up. And this one's a resin, and that one's a resin. And I think this is from my friend Alan, and I don't know if that's a resin or styrene. I can't tell.
and now they go multiple back. Is
Yeah, I
there-
even had more. I've sold a lot of them. Yeah,
It's
there's
wow.
quite a few. I guess a bit of a hoarder too. But I'm eventually going to sell.
The extras.
Yeah. That was my plan when I bought them, and then I got these are rare too. I got those from the same person, I believe, in Canada.
Were they a Canadian exclusive?
Yeah, and they were all sealed.
Wow.
And from what I understand, a couple of years ago, the Mad Dentist went for like $10,000 sealed.
So the Aurora market is still strong, even though they've been reissued by Polar Lights and all the other companies. Like, it's still strong.
It's not as strong as it was, but if you have like Godzilla's go-kart or the King Kong's Thronester, yeah, you could get good money for those, or some of the ones that weren't reproduced, like the sports, Willie Mays and Babe Ruth and especially Jim Brown and Johnny Unitas. Those are going for good money. Even the Hoosits are going pretty good.
So it's just stuff that
Wasn't reissued, yeah. The vampire and the frog, those I had multiples of, and I did pretty well with those.
The monster. Because a lot of people, I don't think have even seen these
Yeah, that's the
variants, right?
that's the Frightening Lightning Canadian with the pink stripes.
Now, is the kit on these exactly the same?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so it's just the box itself, because it is a bigger box.
Mm-hmm. And talking about foreign boxes, I believe that Gladiator, the one that's got the blue sky,
Yep.
that I think is from France, or I don't remember where, but I know it's not Canadian and it's not American.
So it wasn't just Canada and America, so there were other foreign countries
Yeah,
that had
yeah.
Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
Do you collect those as well, or?
Yeah, if it's a different box variation, I want it. The Air Force pilot, there's two.
Oh yeah, the Aurora's in a different
yeah.
spot, the logo. And the boxes on these two are like in such fantastic condition. A lot of times you see Aurora models, the boxes are nowhere near this condition.
Yeah.
Like you really sought out the most perfect examples of.
I tried.
It's for one person to have accumulated this collection like this is beyond impressive. Now, all these kits were painted by.
Either. I had so many. A guy, Rocco Benedetto. He's in New York somewhere. He did a lot of paint jobs for me early on, but most of the stuff here is from my friend Al Ribeiro, who unfortunately passed away. Some of the stuff up on top, the stuff here is Andy Anxious.
These are two pieces I've never seen before. Tell me about these guys.
They say Aurora. No, that's the Wacky Back Whacker and the Nutty Nose Nipper. I didn't know about them until a guy who lived around here in Long Island. He acquired a bunch of stuff, and I went to his house, and he had, I think it was the Wacky Back Whacker, and then I found out about the Nutty Nose Nipper, but I had bought the Wacky Back Whacker from him, and that's got to be in the early, not the early, the late 80s or early 90s. So I've had it quite a while.
These got to be tough to find. These ones, I would assume.
Yeah, I haven't really seen them.
It says working model, which I think is interesting too. How they?
Yeah.
Are these the only two that they did like this?
Yeah.
And then the infamous. I want to ask you about this. This magazine, this bestsellers. What is that?
Oh. That's a hard to get magazine. This actually has a poster. Why this is mostly famous. What did I put? Oh. I can find it. Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Original poster. Okay.
Wow. So is it what kind of, is it a famous monsters?
It was, I think it was for like, I could be wrong. I think it was for like stores to get to, well, it actually says on it, monthly sales guide for retailers and wholesalers.
So it's a dealer catalog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that the only Aurora poster that was ever issued this way? Like the ones that you have on the ceiling, those are like stores.
As far as I know, they're just hobby. For hobby. Every weekend, every Saturday, I watch Svengoolie, and then later on, Nightmare Theater comes on. And then on Sunday, another episode of Nightmare Theater comes on too. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Nightmare Theater? Yeah, not too many people know about that. And I crack up with Nightmare Theater. They're so funny. Those two guys. Yeah. Well, actually, three guys. Mittens the werewolf too.
Now I know on the creature there's a variant to this box, right? Isn't there one that says Universal or something?
Those are the. You talking about that?
I thought there was one that in white letters. I thought.
No, there might be, but I don't know about it.
You don't know about it? That's impossible. No. There's no way I just told you something you're unaware of. There is. There's a Universal Studios.
Really?
In the top corner.
But I'm sure it's got to be a reissue.
It's Aurora. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yep. I can't believe it.
Let's see what else.
Then we got the mobiles. That's.
Yeah.
And then you have two of them too, which is like what?
Yeah, I was lucky to
It's great that Aurora made stuff like
Yeah,
this, where for store displays they really went above and beyond.
Now they did. There was somebody who was making copies of this, but this is the real deal because you could see at the head they're not punched out.
Yeah.
The only one that's punched out is the creature. But otherwise, all the other ones still have the, I don't know what you would call it, the little
Tab
punch
idea.
out,
Yeah.
whatever it is. So those are real.
I love that.
What's that?
The Ed Roth.
Oh, yeah.
That was incredible.
Now that's a real one also, but people have made copies of that because I got that probably 30 years ago before they started making copies.
I need to find one of these. That's one of my most wanted pieces. I want to get one of those. That is like one of the coolest things ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's so. They pop up once in a while, but it's like
Yeah.
they're so.
I was lucky to get the whole
so
kit.
cool. Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what came in the kit, and the actual box that it came in is behind. Someone would win, yeah, but this was in the box. It was never, when I got it, whatever hobby shop it went to, they never used it.
Oh.
And from what I understand is, this hobby shop was being auctioned off, and the person who spent a lot of money there, they gave it to him as a gift. They said, "You spent so much money here." I don't think they knew what they were giving him.
Wow. So it came with the 3 plaques.
Right. Three months of the movies, magazines, 2 store posters. One of them is there. The other one,
Looks like there's a stack of
Yeah.
Monster Maker. Wow.
Right. Stack of Monster Makers and a stack of the entry blanks.
Wow.
These are pretty neat too. 2 for $1.
Clearance Kids Grant Special.
Mm-hmm.
Pen plaques creature in the box. That's fantastic. That's a super piece. I gotta ask you about that creature though. I gotta know if that says creature on the box. Your Halloween mask.
Oh,
It's in the corner. Ever since I've seen
Where
that,
the hell
I'm
is
like,
it?
it's behind this. I see it right there. I'm like, I've got to know if that thing says creature on the box.
no, I don't think it does.
Wow. It does say monster, man.
That's awesome.
What mask is this? Can I take it out?
Yeah.
Monster. You own a lot of prototype models and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
There's-
yeah. I got them right here. Got and some of them are from Andy, the Swiss boy and girl. I got from Andy. The Riddler is from Andy's collection. These 2 planes were never produced. Those are prototypes. Unfortunately, the glue let loose and the nose just came off. I got to glue that back together.
And those were never issued.
Never issued. This I bought at auction on eBay. I also wound up with the head and cheetah from the prototype, because Aurora could not get the rights. Edgar Rice Burroughs. They couldn't get the rights from Edgar Rice Burroughs to produce the Tarzan, and that's why that model became Hercules and the Lion.
And you have the Metaluna mutant we were talking about upstairs too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first prototype. Got that in 1999. And had a mold made in, I don't know, 2015, 16, I don't remember.
So these are Aurora prototypes?
Yes,
wow.
yes. So were those other ones. And then I made them, had a mold, like I said, I had the mold made and produced the kit. And 2 or 3 years ago, Atlantis asked if they could use my mold to make mutants to sell through their company. Yeah, these are all prototypes that were going to be used in certain models, but never were. That's called the Cameraman.
Is this the only one known of the mutant?
Oh, that is the only one. If that didn't exist, the mutant that I had would not exist. Now, when I got it, his left leg was missing. I mean, not his left leg, his left foot. And then my friend Al, he just took the right foot and copied it and put it on the left side. There was unfortunately no base, and Al made a base for it. And this is a model that they were going to come out with for the Phantom of the Opera. That is Christine. And these are some of the things, the monsters of the movies, from what Andy told me, was going to be like you could like produce your own movie set. And this is from it, and that's why they had the Cameraman.
Banana splits.
The banana splits. Those I actually painted. It's one of the few models I painted. But those are prototypes. And actually, they did make a mold for it, because here's the banana buggy. But this is the only part I have. And because I knew Andy, he wound up giving me a set of wheels.
This one is incredible. I mean, obviously being the
that I actually bought in New Jersey. It was mint in the box. I got it from a guy who had a hobby shop there at the time called Rare Plane Detective. He's now in Las Vegas. But that's where I got that one from. And I bought it at a good price. I paid $200 for it.
Wow.
In the box. It was the last one he had. Otherwise, I would have bought more.
Yeah.
Now,
this is all built store displays, is that
Yeah,
it? So
yeah.
all of these were built by Aurora.
Yeah. Everyone there is a store display except the frog in the back, I believe. But, if you look at them, you can see that they're all exactly the same, the way they're painted. The only one that's different is the Hunchback. They did the base different, but if you look at the Hunchback itself, he's exactly the same. I don't know if you know how they did these. They would take a template, and they had women that would spray. They put a template over the model part, and they just spray it, and that's how they came out. so exact every time.
I like how you've mixed in a lot of other things too, like the iron-ons and the target game and stuff. It adds. It's like a store in here. It's like like your own little store.
Well, see, in the beginning, all I wanted was just the Aurora. I wanted just the couple of Aurora monster models that I had.
That was it. You were just.
That's all I wanted. And then as I started to see what else they had, you know, and then I wanted this and that. I wanted just Aurora. And then as I started to see all the other cool stuff, like the iron-ons and all the Pentex creature and, you know, all this other stuff, I was like, wow, I'm really... And I went overboard.
What's your, if you had to, I know you said you can't, but I'm going to ask you anyway. If you had to pick, maybe say 3 of your absolute favorite pieces that's in your collection, what would they be?
Well, they wouldn't be the favorite, but they would be if the place was on fire or we were having a flood or something. I guess it would be the ones that are most expensive, like Godzilla's go-kart, King Kong's Thronester, and I guess the Mad Professionals.
Well, maybe I'll reword it. Let me ask you like this. What is, you know, maybe say 3 pieces that when you look at it, you come down here, you enjoy your collection, you look at it, you just go, oh, I love that so much. I just love that.
I don't know. I love everything. I can't
too, but
I can't.
If you had to say, like, if
It's
you walk
like-
by, because you can't say you love the deer as much as the Dracula. I mean, if there was something you had to go, you walk by it, you walk in your room, you go, oh, I just love this. This is so great. What's a couple of those pieces where you're just like, I'm so glad I have this?
I'd really have to think about it for a long time. I don't know. I love everything. I don't know. I guess I'm weird. I don't know.
What is that?
That is part of a mold.
Wow.
That's some history for you. This is that copper. What the heck is it called? Oh boy, I'm brain dead again. Vanadium. No, not vanadium. It's the Wolfman's front part of the Wolfman model. The head. This would go into the mold. I got this from
That's great.
a guy that his father worked for Aurora. And what happened was he was really good friends with the person who would, the photographer who would shoot the artwork for the box tops.
Okay.
And so I wound up getting the UFO, which is painted by Aurora, and the Land of the Giant spaceship that was painted by Aurora. And supposedly these 2 models that I have were shot for the box top art.
Wow.
So I got those 2 and this. And the reason the photographer had this, he was using it as a paperweight.
We threw a lot of that prototype stuff in the dumpsters, you know?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, I was watching some kind of a program, and there was like some Star Wars thing that was, they made the wrong box, printed the wrong name or something.
Box.
And they threw it all out, and now that stuff is worth a lot of money.
I don't know, nobody thought back
Mm-hmm.
then, especially you go back this far to Aurora. I mean, nobody thought back then this stuff was going to be anything.
Right, just like when I threw my models in the garbage.
That's what started this whole thing, yeah. Think about that. It was just that one moment where you said, I'm going to throw these out, and created all of this.
Yeah, that's what started me. You know, I wanted it back again. I wanted my childhood.
Well, you're a true blue monster kid. That's,
Yeah.
which I think is awesome.
You know, like I said, I saw that Frankenstein in 1961 in that luncheonette, and that's what started me building the monsters.
I love that it was him. I love that it was Frankenstein. That was the one that did it for you. I think that's fantastic. All right, so here, this section of Phil's collection is all the cars, all the amazing cars. And you said your favorite one was this
Tarantula.
one. Tarantula. Is it because it's a monster one? It's got the...
No, I like it because the way the chute is. I think it's cool the way they set that up. The parachute.
Mm.
And these are all store displays
Yes.
from that. They were just, wow. Just
Mhm.
incredible. Just incredible stuff.
Cigarette lighter with a miniature model and a miniature box of the model.
That is neat.
Is that an employee piece, or is it like...
I have no idea. I don't know if you want me to like put it like there. If you want to take a
check it.
Wow.
closer to it.
That's cool.
I saw that. I was like, wow, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
There's all the Revell stuff. Oh yeah, that's like... This is the Revell section. Is that who did these, Revell? The weirdo paints?
Well, it's from Pactor, I believe. Is the model company, but I don't think Revell did them.
Oh, I see it.
But they got the the model, the Revell model there. No, that's the weirdo model. It's not Revell. Not Revell. No. See, that's why you got to spend like
I know.
Hours.
5, 6, 7, 8 hours.
One thing I noticed here, and this is a reoccurring theme in most monster collections, is this book right here. This Pictorial History of Horror Movies. This was in Glenn Danzig's basement. This was in Kenny's collection. This is in... Everybody that's got a great collection has this book right here, and I keep seeing this pop up, so I wanted to point that out because that is it's a weird thing that book for some reason is in all the coolest collections. Phil, thank you so much for showing us your collection.
Yes.
I know you guys are gonna
Okay.
love this. I hope we did it justice showing all the cool stuff. It's only a fraction of it because you literally want to spend 5 minutes on every piece, and this would be a 12-hour video, but this is just an amazing overview of the most mind-blowing collection I've ever seen so far. Is like, especially if you're a model fan and Aurora collector. Phil's got a shop online that you can get some stuff from. None of this, just the the excess stuff upstairs. But Phil, thank you so much for showing me this. This was an honor to check this stuff out and see these things, and I'm glad that you were able to share them with everybody because they're incredible. And just to think that this started with a Frankenstein model,
Yep.
and then a moment in time where you dumped your model kits turned into this is it's an incredible story.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.